them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud down, yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not dey off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun live.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Please share this broadcast. Read the caption as well. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them, Mayegun today.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary, diary politico. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Leave Nigeria alone. Leave our elections alone. Don't cause problems in Nigeria. Tifnumbu is the president. These were the messages delivered to the European Union Commission in Nigeria. Exactly.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Also tonight, Ejikeme Masoma or Mesoma actually did what she was accused of doing, forging a JAMB score.
Bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bíjọ́ ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a few days ago, there was this spotting in Lagos of Chinese warships in Nigeria, 2 of them. And they said they were on bilateral mission to Nigeria. Who goes to bilateral mission, trade deal with 2 warships? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is this contingent of Chinese delegates currently in Abuja. And they are in Abuja because they are trying to set up a Chinese-Nigeria something, volcano earthquake prevention center. Something is popping. Nigeria no get volcano. Nigeria no get earthquake. Thank you very much. Good evening to you once again, and good afternoon to you. Good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Mayegu live. Of course, I miss you, and that's what I do, all right, when I feel kind of overused, tired. So I do give myself unannounced break. Here you get. But yes, I am back. And in the last 48 hours, a lot has happened. In fact, a lot is happening. The few that we can actually catch on or lay our hands on have been brought together in a whole package that you are about to see. Among part of what we are discussing tonight is this news. This woman, Chinyere Obi, who came out just yesterday that she was shot during the elections and she caused the day that she became obedient. This has also generated a lot of conversation out there, and I choose that we should tap into it. What are the conversation? 74-year-old woman, an obedient, got shot during the election for supporting Obi. Nobody heard about it. I mean, I kind of covered a lot of the incident that happened during the election myself, right? Never heard that of a 74-year-old woman, okay? But surprisingly, the woman said she was shot by APC thugs who were trying to stop her from voting for Obi. She said only 2 people contacted her. Obi never said I or even check on her. So because of this, she has decided to support Tinubu, whose thugs supposedly shot her. Now, people are questioning like, how come this one is making the news? And our shooting didn't make the news. What could have happened? Like, is it, you know what I mean? So we'll touch that later tonight. Again, read the caption of the broadcast, read the body, read everything you can, all right? And at the same time, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't, before you begin to engage and have conversation around this, okay? So, yes, let us start with the people who are warning the European Union to stay away from Nigeria. Stay away from Nigeria. I won't kind of repeat their message. I would rather she do it for us. Watch this. Viable TV owns the credit to this video, by the way.
The security of lives and property is at stake. Our sovereignty is at stake. Our unity is at stake. Nigeria is the greatest country in Africa, the most populated country in Africa, and of course, the pride of the African continent. If the European Union is beginning to address our elections and of course, whatever is daring, the way they have presented this report, then we are scared. We are scared that it's not just going to affect Nigeria as a country, it's going to affect the whole of the African continent. We are striving to grow. We want to be first and second world countries. We want to be emerging countries. And we cannot grow in the speed that we want to grow with the kind of reports that we are getting from the European Union. We are here to register our grievances. We are here to tell them that as a matter of urgency, they should withdraw their reports. And of course, come up with the reports that will be favorable to Nigeria, the report of what they saw. How on earth can just less than 50 people from the European Union come to Nigeria to observe an election where you have over 176,000 polling units at election centers, and then they go to less than 1,000 polling units at the election centers, and they draw conclusions. And I also want to send a clear signal to them. If there are people, if there are other Nigerians that they are using as scapegoats to send the wrong signal about our dear country, we want to tell them to desist from that immediately. Nigeria want to measure up with European Union countries. Nigeria want to be like the United States. Nigeria want to be like the Great Britain. Nigeria is striving seriously to be like every first and second world countries of the world. So we will not henceforth condone any false report. We will not henceforth condone any manipulated reports against our dear country. It has happened in the past. What we are seeing is neo-colonialism in disguise, and we will not allow that. We want to be a sovereign country. We want to be an independent country, independent in the true sense of it. We have a constitution that guides us. We have the constitution that sets the tone, and the constitution is what we must work with and work by, not by any speculations and fabrications and rumors from the international community. We are saying enough is enough. We have a president that is doing very well. We have a president that has started on the right footing. We have the president that is doing what several presidents in Nigeria have not been able to do. All that we need at this point is to support him. Yes. He is our son. We are his children. He is our leader. We willingly voted for him. No man, no woman, no country compelled us to vote for him. It is our right to vote for the candidate of our choice, and that was exactly what we exhibited in the last election. Our election that we all witnessed was free to an extent, was free to a very large extent, almost 100% free. It was an election that was devoid of so many things that we used to witness in the past. Our democracy is growing at an accelerated rate, and we must want the international community to take cognizance of that. Instead of bringing out reports that they have fabricated, we will reject that and reject it vehemently. We want to let them know that never again, never again, never again the third time should they intrude in our national affair. We understand the role they play. Yes, that is not out of place. But again, there comes a time when we have to stop. They should know when to stop, and they should know when to continue. If there are no motives, why on earth should they take the reports of this election to the tribunal? Is that where a report should be received? No. There are procedures. They have procedures in their countries, but when they come to Nigeria, they act out of protocol. They must begin to observe protocols. They must begin to respect our rule of law. They must begin to respect the Nigerian people. This is what we have come to say here in very clear terms today. Thank you very much.
You have a letter. Could you please hand it that your message will be passed on to the right quarters? Thank you very much for this. I appreciate it.
What is your name, sir?
The man wanted to address us.
Okay. So thank you very much. So your message will be delivered. Thank you very much.
Is that all you have to say?
What's your name? Of course, I will deliver your message. I will deliver your message.
I will going to transmit a letter to you.
Thank you.
Can you say your name on the camera? So
yes.
Thank you.
Those are the people asking the European Union to stay clear of Nigerian national politics. They shouldn't teach Nigeria how to run their things. And they are most pained that the report is not favorable to APC. Okay? And since it is not favorable to APC, therefore it is not favorable to Nigeria. And they should not come and cause problems in Nigeria. Okay? You know where she said the Oyinbos will just come to Nigeria and they will just do anyhow. They think they can. She seems to be right there. But let me tell you something. Because it is true. What Oyinbos will do in Nigeria and get away with, Nigeria will never dare try that in any Oyinbo land. But that is also kind of argumentative. Sure, you get Oyinbo get standard. Africa no get standard. I'm not saying this as Africans are like to make you feel bad. Though. I'm talking about when you come about leadership standard. Starting from your selection process, be election process. Okay, so that standard. The moment Oyinbo self go below their own standard, a lot of you will find it so easy to speak on that. Remember that last American election, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. You know, a lot of you were so shocked to watch American election go into gutters like that, where you are seeing ballot papers, late deliveries, this accusation here and there, rigging here and there, something that is so like they have been able to manage so well for decades or centuries. Remember, standard. But you see, that of Africa, when Oyibo put this standard on their election, the standard they give Africa is like this, bottom barrel. So Oyibo, that is what gives Oyibo that right too, because the bottom barrel is that the shameless leadership in Africa, always cap in hand, bowl in hand, beggars to these Western countries. And when you are beggars no get choice. So they'll begin to tell you how to run your economy, which kind of law you should be making, and which one you shouldn't be making. Okay, what kind of government you should be putting in place, which one shouldn't be in place, because now bottom barrel. So when Oyibo come around to look at, we thought the standard don't they grow small. So this one again is like bam to the ground again. So give that, or should I say push that blame to the failed, greedy African leaders. So she was right that Oyibo is doing like this on them. They even went as far as begging for money to conduct election. You know that? The giant of Africa going abroad to beg for money to conduct election that they are going to rig. Do you understand what that means? You don't. Anyway, they said the report has been tendered as evidence in courts. So if Tifnumbu is removed, now the Oyibo report contributed to that on the part. That's the point. Also, they indirectly sending a signal to say if the courts should legitimize the fraud and Nigeria should go into a state of revolution at any point in time, or the reaction to that court decision that could go either way, they believe that the Oyimbos, the European Union, they are setting the stage to sponsor uprising in Nigeria in their own warped mind, delusion and illusion. These old problems, they don't exist. They are just fabrication. I mean, people will live in denial like nothing happened. You know that, Abby? That is that part. On the other part, there is another set of Nigerians. Do you know what they call themselves? League of Youth that voted for Tinubu Shetima. In their own press release, they said, President Tinubu, this suffering is too much. You need to do something. We are dying. A press conference in Abuja. So that is in a bit contrast to those who said he has started well, he is doing well, everybody is happy and all that. Yeah? In contrast, Abi, but generally, after I have said this before, you know what I mean? On social media, everybody know okay. Sure, you know, on social media, now all of us, they all right. Some of us are even like multimillionaires on social media. And Nigeria is where you will see people, all of them, a lot of them. And they will tell you that even though things are hard, they still believe that it will favor them and their family. All these things will not touch them and their family. But that is on screen. Behind the scene, the shege that is walking about in Nigeria right now. Baba, I don't know how to describe it, even though I am not there. It is so tough that even those who are able to kind of live comfortably their own way are becoming uncomfortable. And more so, a lot of them right now are seeing the glooming future that if they don't do something and something very fast, they will also collapse into that poverty basket, and there is no chance of anybody coming out of it. No, not like how you are dipped in them as we speak. So everybody is fine on social media, but people are struggling to pay, to feed, cost of living, they call it. It's obvious anyway. We all know it's been like that before Kolu. Now, when Kolu made his pronouncement, they were like, well, people will actually find their way. And finding their way is choking right now that some of them can no longer keep it offline. Sure, you get. I know, say, somehow, a lot of them are like die-hard sufferheads. But you get some kind of struggle, suffering that will happen to you like unprepared, like what has happened to so many people in the last 30 days, that will actually make you feel like, man, there is war. And I'll explain that. We are beginning to see people who claimed to have campaigned and voted for Kolu. I won't show you some of their videos. They could be boring because they're just like passive comments right now. But out there, even those who didn't, but there's something we also observed. People said they were all the same, you know, argumentative. Say they are all the same. All these politicians are the same. I have seen those who have kind of confessed of how life just took a sudden turn for the worse since Tifnumbu took over. And the argument was that they are all the same. Tifnumbu, Obi, Atifku, Kwakwanso, they are all capitalists. I said the first thing that will first happen in this state of, what do you call it? Reality that a lot of them are going to get to eventually, is that it will first be a state of denial. You saw 4 people, right? And out of the 4 people, one of them only shared one thing in common with them, and that is he was an elected governor. Others were elected governors and former vice presidents. Now, their lives are all in public. Nigeria is a place whereby if you become a public official, as small as a local government chairman, there is level of wealth that people expected you to accumulate, okay? And they believe that if you are smart in your own kind of greed and corruption, you can progress to becoming a state governor or a lawmaker or something like that. And by the time they look at you and say, you are no longer in politics, they want to see what you have been able, right, to use the public fund you stole, achieve. Like I told you before, Nigerians love their thieves differently. You just have to be a thief. So one of them, Peter Obi, a governor of Anambra State, right, who served 8 years with other people. And immediately after his 8 years and his record and everything that is public, he was never in any way becoming a godfather, a rent seeker, or anything at all annexed to his family. Nothing. You can't say the same of Kwakwanso. You can't say the same of Atifku. And you, of course, you can't say the same of Tifnumbu. Now, it became the fight of, for those of you who are saying you wanted to rescue Nigeria, it became the fight of, you see, thieves, career-known thieves, who have also encouraged, inspired other thieves that have milked you for years. And even they themselves, they are pensioners for being governors, okay? Then you have somebody who had no penny drawn from the state he ruled for 8 years, who had no property traced to himself or any member of his family after being that governor, Abi, who had no money traced to himself or any member of his family or any member of his cabinet of 8 years. And then you turn around, you choose a drug dealer, okay? You defended a drug dealer that didn't even win an election. Then you defended him to the point that you have helped them to widen the tribal, ethnic, religious division of Nigeria to the point that Nigeria is now headed for a state of no recovery. Abi? Then the, what do you call it? The Escobar, the drug baron that you thought had experience. He raised people. He has this or that. Abi? Suddenly, you are beginning to feel like, oh, you made a mistake because they were all the same. You are still at the state of denial. You see, for me, everything that will contribute and help the quickest, the fastest of the breakup of Nigeria is very welcome. You know what I told the obedient from the beginning of this journey? I told them, some of them are watching me now. I said, you will be, you will be rigged. And you will be rigged in a way that has never been done before. You will be so angered, that you will be telling yourself that you once told people who called for revolution, people who are visionless, but you will they will push you to the state they push those who are asking for revolution. It is just a matter of time. And it happened. Here you get. But I said, this is also going to help make you understand why some of us gave up a long time ago. The breaking up of Nigeria is not going to come from you, okay? It's not going to come from me. Listen, a lot of you love Nigeria so much that if any magic can happen and at least take you back to Nigeria of 40 years ago, that is not so, something that you can actually like, you will jump at it. But if you calm down and take a look at the whole thing from the past till now, everything that has happened from the past up to this moment, take a look at them and see, apart from all of you playing one role or another, one time or another, in the last 25 years in Nigeria, the real drivers of the division of Nigeria are no other people than the criminal politicians in charge of Nigeria. No other people. Why do you think people are agitating? Poverty everywhere, injustice everywhere, inequality here and there, impunity here and there, things that they told you to normalize. But guess what? Every abnormality they are telling you to, or you have normalized, all have their victims inside that same contraption. And those who are doing all of that, they have now graduated into milking the most dreaded power line that, in fact, should never be crossed, even if they are like politically naive and politically blind. They should never cross them. And that is the religious and ethnic card that has now become a thing in Nigeria politics today. They pushed all of us there. Of course, a lot of us played 1-2 role here and there. Those of you who loved your different thieves, criminals in the past, today you look at a lot of them today and you shake your head and feel like, I can't believe I once supported that. Or I can't believe I actually defended that in the past. Yes, look back to the role you played for different roads. Who claimed that they wanted to fix Nigeria? The Nigeria they are fixing is the Nigeria you have today. Congratulations. So think about the roles you play. The cards they played you, the ones you enabled. So it's not you. In fact, a lot of us don't even have the resources to break Nigeria. You know that? We don't. Other than to tell the people the truth and make them understand that it's more or less like kicking the can down the road. The rogues who have destroyed Nigeria, they are still those in charge. The same technique they have used in bringing Nigerians to this state of disrepute is still the same thing they are using. They are not looking back. So if Nigeria break up tomorrow, don't blame yourselves that much. Maybe you can blame yourself for allowing it to last, to drag for too long. These criminals and this trajectory, where you have poor people piling up, what do you expect? Where you have injustice, like it is normal in Nigeria, what do you expect? Increase in crime and agitation for almost everything, lawlessness and all of that abound. And the people who actually brought that upon us, they are still doing the same thing. They rendered us poor, miseducated, poorly educated, in fact, mostly uneducated. And here we are coexisting in a country with rudderless ruiners that they call the rulers, or dealers that you call leaders. So don't blame me. Don't I am trying to save us. That's what I'm trying to do. Save us. Because there is always going to be an agenda pushed by the criminal politicians because they know what they have created. It's not going to be from you and me. It's just going to be like a bit about the UBC, where we wanted to cultivate cola. And suddenly you just discover that there are already colas growing on that same plantation. So what do? You water it. So I told them, I said, they were going to rig you. Okay? Nigeria is a crime scene. They will do it so blatantly, so ridiculously, that a lot of you will feel so kind of down. But here is what we discovered. There are so many of you obedient who genuinely think you can save Nigeria by putting the right person in charge, Peter Obi. It would have been a different ball game. Let's agree. It won't be much difference anyway, because of the destruction of Nigeria done by APC. I mean, but that's probably not going to happen now. Abi? Now, what we discovered was those who are defending people, destroying people, majority of them don't really have jobs, any real job. When you see those who are majorly supporting Tifnubu APC, they are mostly people with, poor education, no jobs at all. Majority of them have never worked in their lives. And I'll tell you how we discovered, okay? During their charade elections, right? You could see what kind of appeals to Tifnubu's supporters. It's about power, wealth, clout. That is what that matter to them. Empty kind of, Tinubu, do you know how many governors that came when Tinubu came to campaign? Do you know how many ministers? Do you know how many commissioners? Do you know how many? Because Tinubu made a lot of people. These are people who superintend the poverty that is enveloping Nigeria. Okay? When Tinubu, do you know how much money they gave? So they glorify this wealth with nothing to show for it. I'm talking about people who have a lot of money, but they actually have no source of any legit source of money other than because they are politicians. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they are not people who actually create wealth. These are politicians who have had a chance or currently control different state resources in their kitty. And they flaunt them to glorify how powerful the people around Tifnubu are. Why won't it win election? Look at the people around him now. How do you expect? Look at the power. These are the poor people, impoverished people, poorly educated, miseducated people. The bottom of the barrel. They fancy that. They're like, how do you intend to defeat that man like that? It's not about what he has to offer or what he said to them in a clear term. You know what I mean? Like, clear sense. No. When you look at those who are behind that thief coup, these ones are also majority jobless people, past political office holders, PA and all of them. I'm still going to tell you something though. Now, those ones, you know what kind of fancy to them, what really look fancy to them, right? Is the fact that or more, the only person that can stand shoulder to shoulder with APC, money for money, people for people, power for power, is Atiku, because look at him now. Look at the horror around him. He has been running for president. He never run out of money. Because according to them, right, Atiku can make them what Tifnumbu has made other people. Do you get the concept? If Atiku can still be so powerful, relevant, okay, that is something so inspiring. Okay, he has no, and he's a billionaire that is capable of giving APC, the ruling party, money for money. But when you look at the obedient, the people they call the noisemakers, those ones have this can-do spirit that is like that of somebody who is a drunk or somebody who just lost their mind. I'll tell you what I mean. Obedients have no money to challenge Tifnumbu APC or Atiku PDP. They have no money, right? They have no powerful people to flaunt about and say, they have no powerful connection anywhere, okay? But somehow, they just feel like the David and Goliath. Sure, you get? People that you have to look at and say, it's like looking at them like this and say, you these ones. You these ones. And the idea, like, say, touch me. Touch me if they burn you well. Touch us. You go see, yeah, touch us. We go beat you here. I say, wait a minute, this. That's exactly what you... Now, how did they kind of feel that powerful? Because they are young people mostly. A lot of them are professionals. A lot of them are students. A lot of them are young entrepreneurs. A lot of them are actually traders, handiwork men and women, okay, who have understood what and how politics actually affects them and what they need to do. These are smart people who kind of feel like they know, they have the number. They play with number. Sure, you get? They look around, they say, but the APC have so governor. PDP have Kiniko. They say, we'll beat all of them in a free and fair election. How you want to do them? Say they can't rig it. That's the confidence I'm talking about. They started juggling numbers together. And they became so confident that instead of them to, despite attack or this and, instead of them to dwindle, they became more confident and confident. You know what I mean? Like you were following them all. That their confidence became annoying. From, they are just social media this. So, they are just noise makers. They don't get PVC. So, we should watch out for these people. The way these people are going, they are going to destroy this country. So, these people have become a fascist. So, that they cannot accept election results. They cannot accept this and that. It's like they want to cause this. You know what I mean? Come on, they are nothing. So any smart thing I will tell you, I know say you're obedient. Baba, wait till cause fight. You be agbadomite. This one is obedient. That one is mekamite. Why not they fight on ourselves? That's how obedience became issue. Now, going back to their supporters. You see those who are around Tifnumbu, waiting for their own crumb. They have one job. To go and convince other poor people out there that these people who have been milking you, in fact, they have changed their mind. They have a plan for you now. Very good plan. Renewed hope. Listen, no, it's not that they believe in anything they are saying, Sure you get. But the fact that they admire people like Tifnumbu, they only have one job, to go and tell everybody why they admire them. And that's how they will get people to say, I am voting for Tifnumbu. It's Tifnumbu. Because he has experience, because he has people, he has made men, he has made this and that. These are poor people who are victims of this same big men. Oh, sure you get. That's how it works. And for those who admire Atiku and expecting whatever they are expecting, they also have one job too. They should go and tell people about the benevolence of Atiku. Remember, these two camps, they are not actually promoting anything productive. Remember, nothing really productive, okay? Nothing about life generally, other than they are poor. APC has ruined Nigeria. PDP looted Nigeria. Because PDP looted Nigeria, APC is now fixing Nigeria. Those are the ones who admire APC. Those who admire PDP will tell you, APC has ruined Nigeria. People have no job. They will be scouting for data here and there to prove that Nigeria is going bad. Atiku is going to come and do it. Nothing productive in their lives. And that is why we call them political jobbers. They look like normal people. They look like me and you. Sure you get. As horrible as the ruling in Nigeria is, the leadership in Nigeria has become. Once they have a bite, they have no real job. When you see them, they will tell you, I am into real estate. Some of them will tell you, I am a consultant. They have no real job, no real source. So they depend on this. To maintain that, they need a lot of you to believe whatever they can tell you. But when you look at disobedient once again, you see so many of them, like I described earlier. When they are doing their mobilizations here and there, there are those who are organizing themselves in the markets. There are those who are organizing themselves in their different offices. There are those who are kind of, you saw them, Abi, during their 1 million man march here and there at the time. Which means when on Mondays, and they always do their, you remember that they always do their own gathering at weekends. That is when they said that majority of them always have chance. When they moved their 1 million man march to the midweek, they said a lot of people are in the office. Anyway, some people actually traveled from diaspora to go back and participate in that charade because they believed that they could save Nigeria. Immediately after the election, okay, they kind of all went back to their lives. Having known what is going to be on the table. All right, nobody's going to be spared. They all went back to their lives. But guess those who are mostly singing and crying today? APC. Surprisingly. Guess those who are now kind of mocking, put it that way, because anywhere you mistakenly go put on social media that I regret supporting APC. Guess those who are going to come over there? Obedient. And you'll be wondering, no be the same Nigeria you all day, ni? Is that not the same hardship they are facing, ni? Is that not the same, what do you call it? Like, why are they laughing at you? Somehow you'll be wondering, Abi, if you are like Agbadomite watching me right now, a bad start. Have you never wondered that? Why are the obedient kind of celebrating any news that says this one is going to go up, this price is going to go up, this tax is going to increase, and they will just say, may this increase favor my family? Have you ever asked yourself why? Because I remember that it was like you would teach them a lesson. Unfortunately, there are those who are kind of like, or probably you are teaching yourselves a lesson. So the question there is that, how come the obedient are not those who are complaining about Tinubu's policies? The answer is not far-fetched, okay? The answer is that a lot of them actually have their lives. A lot of them are doing better, even in that worse Nigeria, okay? A lot of them reacted to remove PDP and APC from Nigeria polity in their own way, because they have seen the damages these people have done in the lives of workers, in the lives of businessmen, in the lives of students, in the lives of the people. They have weighed the data. They are the victims, direct and indirect. Sure you get? So when they thought they had a chance of cleaning and clearing all of them out, if they had allowed that election, by now, you probably will barely have, no joke, you barely have 100 APC, PDP national lawmakers today. You will barely have that. We saw everything that happened. We saw the structure they are talking about. The same structure I told you, that structure of criminality, structure of thuggery, rigging. And that's exactly what the bank done. And all of you said, no, it's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. This election is a do or die. I said, watch. Eh? So if they had allowed you free and fair for real, okay, Tifnubu won't be anywhere near Abuja. Atifku will be gone. A lot of those parading themselves today, the state's capture you are witnessing today will probably never happen. But we know they will never let that happen. When you said you are fighting for your life, we are fighting for our life. I told you, they are fighting for their lives too. It's not just you. Well, anyway, so that didn't happen. And the obedient who thought they could do something, a lot of them went back to their jobs, went back to their lives. Some of them have already kind of, they have a chance of leaving Nigeria for something better and all of. A lot of them actually have choices. Maybe not a lot of people, but so many of the frontiers that you have seen with, they kind of did that out of, oh yeah, we go show them. How do we go show them? Why these guys are moving money, bribing people, and all of that during your charade election. Today, those who lied to you about Tifnubu's experience